Shalom, shalom. This is Brother Taha War. Right, coming at you with a breakdown, giving all honor and glory to Yahweh, and we do so by Shema Mashiach Malaki Yahushai. Right, and today we're going into doing a breakdown on old-fashioned biblical love. Right, because the love that we have modern day, the love that we have modern day is materialistic. Right, he love you if he spend a bag on you, buy you a Birkin. If she fly you out, she love you if she do all of these materialistic things for you, and etc. And that's not what biblical love actually is, right? True biblical love, right? And I know we go to 1 John the 5th chapter all the time to say what love is, right? It's keeping the commandments. But we got to understand the spirit behind what Yahweh Shah said. He said that the greatest commandments are loving the Most High with all your heart, mind, and soul, and loving your brother as yourself. Right? Meaning that the commandments, he said, on these two hang all the law and the prophets. So what the Lord is saying, is that all of the commandments teach you how to gain a proper relationship with the Most High, and how to gain a proper relationship with your brothers. Because we got to pay attention. The version of love that we have now is the version that our oppressor has taught unto us. That's why it's so materialistic and it's so vain. Because when we came out of Egypt, we had the same exact definition of love as the oppressors that we had in the land of Egypt. That's why when you read Leviticus the 18th chapter, he's telling you don't do as the Egyptians do. Because the Most High had to purge out that spirit of the oppressor, because we envy the oppressor the same way that we do now, and he had to give them an entire new version and definition of who they should be as a people and what love actually looks like. Right, I'm going to go to Matthew the 9th chapter real fast. Right, Matthew chapter 9, and I'm going to start at verse 16. It says, "No man putteth a piece of new cloth into an old garment, for that which is put in to fill it up taketh from the garment, and the rent is made worse." Right. So when we try to build our nation upon what the white man told us was love, right, it's going to crumble and fall. It's going to make the rent worse that we already have, right? And that's why you see the love and the desire that we have for a nation against each other is slowly degrading, because we're putting old wine, or we're putting new wine into old bottles, and the bottles are breaking. The bottles are perishing. So we have to start over with a completely new garment, or with a completely new wine in a new bottle, and we have to build from the ground up. And that's exactly what the Most High did for the children of Israel when he led them out of the land of Egypt, right? He had to give instructions for a nation that had never been an independent nation before, never had their freedom before, right? Never had the ability to rule over their women, to rule over their children and their households in a manner that they should be ruling over it, right? And that's why we have to go. It's important for us to understand what true biblical love looks like, right? So I'm going to go real fast to 1 John chapter 4, right? 1 John chapter 4, and I'm going to start at verse 17. It says, "Herein is our love made perfect, that we may have boldness in the day of judgment. Because as he is, so are we in this world." Meaning that the way that the Most High is towards us, the way that Yahushua was towards us, that's the way that we are supposed to operate in this world. I'm going to get a precept real fast in Matthew the 6th chapter. Right, in Matthew chapter 6, Yahushua says something real heavy. Right, Matthew chapter 6, I'm going into the Lord's Prayer. It says, Matthew chapter 6 and verse number 12. It says, "Forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors." Now, a lot of people take that and they break that down as, oh, well, I need the Most High to forgive me at the same time as I'm forgiving other people. And that's not what the Lord is saying. He said, "Forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors." Meaning that I want you to forgive me the way that I forgive other people. So if it's looking like the Most High is getting up with you, the Most High is jamming you up, you got to examine how you are towards the brother. how you are towards the sisters? Are you giving them the mercy, right, that you want the Most High to give you? Are you giving them the patience that you want the Most High? What about your marriage, man? Are you a lion in the household, always trying to hurt her feelings, and you're always battling and arguing, and your house is a damn war zone? And what about your friendships, right? With different people in the body, how do you treat them? Do you respond? Is your communication bad? So the Lord said, forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. So the way that the Most High treats you is a direct reflection of how you treat everybody else, man. I'm going to go back to 1 John, the 4th chapter, right? Because it says this in verse 18, there is no fear in love, but perfect love casteth out fear. We wonder why we stress from anxiety and depression. Anxiety and depression is just a fear, right? Spirits just fall into different categories, man. But because of the modern world, right, they've got so many labels on all of these different demons, and all of these different demons fall into the same thing. A lot of them are fear. Anxiety is fear. It says that there is no fear in love, but perfect love casteth out fear. What type of brotherhood do you got, huh? Right? Are you so focused, right, on the things that are going on in your own life, right? Am I going to have enough on this check? Am I going to have enough for that, right? Am I not going to be able, am I not going to meet this deadline? Am I going to get this new job? Are you so focused on the things that's going on in your own life to where you're not focused on another brother's life, on another sister's life, what they got going on, right? Some brothers be looking, they see another brother jammed up and be like, damn, you know, at least I'm not him. Nah, man, right? You so focused on your own situation and you worrying about your own situation, focus on theirs, man. And watch the Most High focus on your situation. Focusing on helping you through hard times, helping you to figure things out. You can't worry about yourself if you're worried about everybody else, man. Right? And as you worry about other people, the Most High gonna send other people to worry about you. He gonna send you that wife that you've been looking for. He gonna send you that husband that's gonna be a good guide unto you, right? Or he's gonna take that same wife or husband that you have and put a spirit upon them of cherishing, of building with you, right? Or put the spirit of leadership into that man. You gotta watch what type of manner of person that you are towards everybody else, because that's exactly what love is, right? And if you living in fear, well, then that lets you know how much love you have surrounded you. You gotta look into that, right? It says, because fear hath torment, he that feareth is not made perfect in love, right? So if you fearful, doubting, anxiety, dealing with depression and things of that matter, but you gotta look into how much love you got and how much love the people around you got for you, man. You gotta work on that. But you gotta figure these things out, right? Real fast, right? Let me get this precept in John, 1 John. Well, I'm gonna go to John chapter 15, right? I'm gonna go to John, right? Because to love somebody, and I'm gonna show you, right? And we're gonna break down to let you know that you've probably never loved anybody at all, man. You've probably been selfish your whole life and only concerned and focused with yourself. This is John chapter 15, and I'm going to start at verse number 13. It says, matter of fact, I'm going to start at verse 12. Let me see. Yeah, I'm going to start at verse 12. It says, this is my commandment, that ye love one another as I have loved you. You see different times through the scriptures where the Lord said, a new commandment. Let me see if I can find that real fast. So lucky. Right. This is John chapter 13 and verse number 34. Right. John 13 and 34. It says, a new commandment I give unto you, that ye love one another as I have loved you, that ye also love one another. By this shall all men know that ye are my disciples, if ye have love one to another. And let me tell you something, man. When Yahweh Shah said this is a new commandment, right? That's not actually, love is not a new commandment. Love existed in the Old Testament, but you know what made it a new commandment? Because it's new to you. Because that's something that you've never shown, right? A new commandment I give unto you, right? Because this is something that you have never experienced. This is something that you have never done, and you always so focused on yourself and what you could be doing better that you're not focused on the next man or the next woman, the next brother or the next sister. How to build up the kingdom, huh? Right? He said, by this shall men know that you are my disciples, by the manner of love that you show for one another. And Yahushua was selfless, right? And that's the spirit that we have to operate in, right? So John chapter 15 and verse 13 again, it says, greater love have no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends. And this isn't just talking about laying down your life in terms of dying, but this means that there's a life that you desire to live, goals in this world that you might want to hit and attain. However, the brotherhood is more important. It's more important than that new promotion, man. Building the kingdom of heaven is more important than, oh, I'm trying to get this new position at the job. I'm not saying you can't strive for new positions at the job, but if being a brother unto somebody is, Salaki, is battling against, you know, the effort and the energy that you got to put in that work, you got to choose the right lane. Right? Work should never get in front of the brotherhood or the sisterhood. What you desire in your personal life, right? Yeah, some people, they got to work out, you know, they like to work out. Because brothers in the camp, we like to work out, no? Or we go to the gym together. But let's say if it's a brother that's in dire need of your help, and you like, man, I ain't gonna lie, I really need to go to the gym, so I'll just hit you after I come from the gym. Nah, man. You gotta talk to that brother, man. You gotta chop it up with him. Yeah, we understand there's things that you desire in your personal life, but the Lord said, I'm gonna read it again, greater love hath no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends. Meaning that you're gonna put your personal desires to the side, and you're gonna put them on the back burner, and you're gonna focus on building the brotherhood, man. Right? You're gonna focus on building the kingdom. Let's go real fast to 1 Corinthians 13th chapter. Now we know, right, 1 Corinthians 13th chapter is talking about charity. That word charity in the Greek means agape. And that word agape, as you've heard, you know, agape love. It's talking about a type of undying and forever love. Right? 1 Corinthians chapter 13, and I'm going to start at verse, my point is in 4. You know what? Yeah, I'm going to start at verse 4. Right? Because this word for charity, like I said, just means love. So it says that charity suffereth long. Now that key word in there is suffereth. Because like I said, to love somebody is pain. But to be loved is absolute bliss. Why is charity suffereth? Why is love suffereth? The reason that love suffereth, because that woman that you love don't have a mouth on her, man. You can't leave her. Right? That man that you love might get angry at times, and you can't lean him. Right? That brother that gets on your nerve still needs you to be around. He needs you not to lead a camp. He needs you not to lead a body. He needs you not to get weak. Right? And while you feeling like you absolutely miserable being around this brother, you hate being around this brother is growing from your presence, man. This sister is growing from the example that you set for her. Meanwhile, the whole time you just like, man, she always got a remark. She always got something to say. And I gotta keep correcting her. I gotta get on her every time, and I'm getting tired of it. And for you feel like it's suffering, but for the sister and the brother that's growing, it's bliss, huh? Because they're growing off of this thing, right? That's why it says that charity suffereth. Because to build a kingdom, right, from a people that are coming out of a captivity and have been completely brainwashed, is going to take for somebody to have to suffer for everybody else to live in bliss, man. Meaning that you don't have to go through the hard things to love somebody else. I can't stand her mouth, right? He want to get another wife, right? I don't trust her no more. Yeah, that's suffering. And the Lord said, you better suffer, man. It's lucky. Right? The Lord said, charity, love, suffereth. And don't just say it suffereth, but it says it suffereth long. You just think it's an overnight battle, man. Right? Everybody was thinking that, oh, Yahweh Shah was going to bring the kingdom of heaven. They constantly said it because they thought the kingdom of heaven was going to immediately appear. Right? No, your faith gets to dwindling that way, man. It says that charity suffereth long. Meaning that this person is going to bother you, which is why the Lord said that you got to forgive them 70 times 7. This woman is going to get on your nerves 70 times. And you got to suffer her. Right? This brother is going to piss you off, but you have to suffer him. Your wife is going to get on your nerves, but you got to suffer her. She going to have a wild mouth, man. And then you got to check your spirit. Right? Because when we read in Exodus, the 1st chapter, it says that the women of the Hebrews were lively. Our women ain't weak, no? Our women are lionesses, but it takes the lion in you to get that lioness to submit. Right? So it says that charity suffereth long, meaning that this is not an overnight thing. They're not going to just piss you off one time. I'm letting you know now. You're going to have to constantly forgive them. You have to constantly love them. It's going to be times where you want to leave, where you don't want to be there, but the Lord said you better suffer, and you better suffer long, man. Right? It says, charity suffereth long, and this is the kicker, and is kind. So not only is this person constantly getting on your nerves, is you constantly suffer from being with this person, but every single time they get on your nerves, you respond with patience, with a kind remark. You don't stoop to their level. When she out of the spirit, when she acting off, when he out of the spirit, when he throwing insults, you don't stoop to that level. No, you're kind. And that's how people are going to know that you're a disciple of Yahweh Shah, man. That the spirit of Yahweh Shah actually liveth within you. By the way that you respond to their wickedness. By the way that you respond to their anger and to their strife. And you know what that's going to do for them? That's going to tear down the walls that they've built up to try to protect themselves, man. Because they don't understand no matter how many blows I throw at them, it never throws them off their game. It never breaks them down. And that's going to soften them up, right? And that's how we build a nation, right? By suffering long and still being kind. And here's the thing. You're not being kind because they deserve your kindness. You're being kind because that's who the Lord commanded you to be. You're not being kind because they're a good person. You being kind because you're a good person. Even though they've done all of this anger and strife and said all of these things to you, you still forgive them. Right? Not saying you got to be besties with everybody, but you still show them love. And you don't show them a bias, right? Because somebody can tell when you don't really like them like that. You avoid talking to them. You stop responding. Nah. You going to piss me off? And I'm going to keep responding to you every time. Not because you deserve my response, but because I'm a good person. Man. Right? Reading on. It says, charity envieth not. Right? Meaning that, say if we in the body, man. And a brother get a promotion. Brother ain't been in the congregation as long as me. You get promoted over me, man. And I don't get promoted. I've been waiting for this. Man, I'm not going to be mad because this brother guy is... I'm going to cheer for this brother, man. I'm happy for this brother. Because the Lord saw fit to put you up there, man. Regardless about how I might feel about, oh, I don't think leadership did. Nah, man. Right? Especially with sisters. Because you know that spirit of jealousy within the sisterhood would be heavy, man. Right? Nah. Love doesn't envy. Meaning that you're going to be happy for them. Even though you've been waiting for a man. You deserve a man. You've been a good sister. You a good woman. You submissive. And that woman that just got a man, a husband, is an evil, you know what. Vaunteth herself. Right? Loud. She's stubborn. And she just got a husband. She just got a husband. Yeah, I'm not going to envy her. I'm going to clap for you. Because the Most High wanted you to have that, man. And you deserved it. Right? Charity, love, doesn't envy. Right? Reading on, it says, Charity vaunteth not itself, is not puffed up, right? Meaning that love doesn't puff itself up, man, right? If I love somebody, I'm not gonna glory in what I do and what I do for them, constantly throwing it in their face, right? How I'm leveling them up, how I'm so good for them. Nah, I'm not. We're not puffing nothing up, man, right? I'm gonna do what I'm supposed to do for you because it's my duty, and I'm not gonna remind you of everything that I do for you, right? I'm not gonna keep throwing it in your face. So like, right? Reading on, it says, doth not behave itself unseemly. Meaning that I'm not, if I love somebody, man, I'm not gonna let them get me out of the spirit, regardless. I'm not gonna act unseemly towards you. I'm not gonna be if I'm a sister, I'm not gonna be a B word towards you. I'm not gonna have an evil eye towards you. If I got an issue with something, we're gonna have that conversation. We're gonna get over it, right? Because that's what love is according to the Bible. And you gotta meditate, man. Are all of these things that's written in the Bible things that I go against? Do I vaunt myself up? Am I constantly throwing what I do for them in their face? Right? And you know you is, so don't even pretend like you're not, because I know you and I know you do it. Right? Reading on, it says, rejoiceth not in iniquity, but rejoiceth in truth. Meaning this, right? That even though we happy for people making baby steps, I'm not going to allow you to live a life that's destructive. Because you know what people think are good relationships are relationships that don't have conflict. And that's not what good relationships are. Good relationships are going to have conflict. But good relationships, after that conflict, are going to have conflict resolution, are going to fix it. If my brother is making a mistake, what's the word that I'm looking for? Right? I would be I can't even say that either. Right? I would be a horrible brother to allow that brother to dwell in wickedness and to rejoice with him and laugh with him in his wickedness, especially when your marriage be out of order and you like, oh, shit, you about to bound from the leave. Nah, bro. I'm not going to sit up here and tell you, yeah, you should leave it. You know why? Because you shouldn't. Love doesn't rejoice in iniquity, man. Right? But love rejoices in righteousness, meaning that I am going to say something to you when you are wrong. And that correction is something we should be happy and we should rejoice about, man. Because I saved you from death. I saved you from destroying your marriage. Because as soon as you leave that person and you go and you find somebody else that you now want to deal with, you know what you're going to find out? That not only were you the problem, but they going to start to act the same exact way that last person started to act. You know why? Because problems happen in relationships. That's what happens, right? But if I support you in saying, oh, yeah, you know what, you should leave this person, and then on top of that, your new person going to be worse than the old person, right? And you're going to be like, man, I should have just stayed where I was at. But if I rejoice in your wickedness and I don't correct you, then I'm going to let you just mess up your life, man. And then you're going to be one of them cats that say, I wish I had a listen. Story of brothers' lives, man. All right, reading on, it says, beareth all things, believeth all things, hopeth all things, endureth all things. To bear all things mean that you bear the burden that comes with the position that you are inside your congregation, inside your relationships. If you're a man of the house, you got to bear the burden of being a man of the house. If you're a woman of the house, you got to bear the burden of being a woman of the house, right? Whatever you are in your friendships and your congregations, you have to bear the burden of whatever it is that they require of you. And that's love. Because love beareth all things. Meaning that if this is what's required of me, I'm not going to make an excuse on why I can't do this, or why I won't do this, or why this is too much for me to do, or why I'm burnt out because of whatever. I am going to find a way to do it. If I'm burnt out, I'll get counsel. If I'm burnt out, that means I got an unjust balance, right? It's just like your car engine. If your car engine is running hot, something in there is wrong. Your car don't have a just balance in there. You might have not have enough oil, not enough coolant, right? But if this is who I am, I'm going to bear the weight of my position to its full extent, right? It says, beareth all things, right? Believeth all things. Meaning that if it's in the scriptures, you have to do it. People try to find a way to disagree with the scriptures that they don't want, that are convenient towards them. But nah, see, we don't do that here. If the scriptures say it, you have to abide by it. Meaning that you can't leave that woman and I won't give you permission to. You can't leave that man and I won't give you permission to. You can't go and find somebody else because that's not the way it works. Because what the scripture says is that charity believeth all things. Right? Reading on, it says, hopeth all things. Meaning that charity doesn't just give up. Your marriage might be in turmoil. Your friendships might be in turmoil. The spirit of your body might be low. Well, let me tell you something about faith, man. Faith is the substance of all things, right? Roughly paraphrase. Let me pull it up real fast because I don't like misquoting stuff, right? Right. Hebrews chapter 11 and verse 1. It says, now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. You want to know your proof that your marriage is going to get better? You want to know your proof that the spirit of the camp is going to grow? You want to know your proof that whatever it is that's going wrong is going to get better? Because love, I'm going to read it again. It says that love hopeth all things. Meaning that you're going to have faith because the Lord said that it's going to happen, man. That's your proof. Your faith is your evidence, and you better believe it, because if you don't, then it's not going to happen. And if you don't, that means that you don't actually have that good old-fashioned biblical love. Because true love hopeth all things, meaning that it has faith, regardless of what it looks like, man. Regardless of the change that's weighing you down. Right? We didn't know I got to finish this out. It says, endureth all things, meaning that regardless of the things that's thrown your way, you endure. You keep pushing. You don't give up. You don't quit. You don't fall weak and give up like people of the world do. In the world, you're allowed to be weak. In this truth, you are not allowed to be weak, man. Right? It says, charity never faileth, but whether there be prophecies, they shall fail. Whether there be tongues, they shall cease. Whether there be knowledge, it shall vanish away. Right? Kind of concluding on those things. So it says, whether they be prophecies, they shall fail. Meaning this, not saying that the prophecies are going to fail, but when the prophecies come to pass, it is no longer a prophecy. When the prophecy of the 400 years in the wilderness came to pass, it's no longer a prophecy because it happened. It's now history. Right? It says, whether there be tongues, they shall cease. Right? Because languages don't last forever. No language don't last forever. Language continue to change over time. Right? It says, whether there be knowledge, it shall vanish away. The older you get, the less and less you can remember. That's going to continue to vanish away. But you know that what won't vanish away? Love. Love is not going to vanish away, man. Right? It says, for we know in part, and we prophesy in part, but when that which is perfect is come, then that which is in part shall be done away. Meaning that we know in part and we prophesy in part. We know parts of the prophecy. We know that the prophecy is coming to pass. We might not know how the entire thing is going to roll out and happen, but we know that Jacob Trouble is coming. We know that World War III is coming. We don't know if it's going to be Trump that set it off or another president that set it off, but we do know that it's coming. So we know in part and we prophesy in part, but when that prophecy comes to pass, right, it says that which is in part is done away. Meaning that now that prophecy is no longer a prophecy. It's now history or the reality. But it says, when I was a child, I spake as a child, I understood as a child, I thought as a child. Right? But when I became a man, I put away childish things. Meaning this, right? We know the prophecies that are supposed to come to pass. We know the expectations that are supposed to come to pass. Which is why, as grown men and women of God, we need to have the love that the Most High commanded for us to have. Because without that, that 2/3 that we prophesy about is going to be you. Right? And we might know in part. We know in part. We know that the 2/3 is going to be a thing. But we don't know who's going to be a part of that 2/3. But let me tell you something. If you can continue to act as a child, to speak as a child, and to keep these childish things and not put them away and act as an adult and have that true biblical love that's mentioned all throughout the Bible, when that 2/3 come to pass, you ain't got to worry about that prophecy no more, man. Because that prophecy is now your reality. But with that, I'm going to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, but Shema Mashiach, Kwam Yasharallah, and Shalom.